Recently, there is some discussion we have entered into with one of our partners and friend, United Kingdom, something to do with migration. I know it has caused another confusion, and I want to explain it to you. And again, I first had to say what I said, and I bring this because it should be seen in that context of who we are and who we want to be. Because I have seen some people say, that United Kingdom gave us money and then they want to dump people here. No. We don't do that kind of thing. we don't buy and sell people. We can't do that, again, because of our core values. But I'll tell you what happened, and so that everyone is clear in their minds. In 2018, if many of you may recollect, I was the chair of the African Union. And during that time, so many stories, many young, maybe some of them old Africans were perishing, dying in big numbers in the Mediterranean, being taken through Libya and to many parts of Europe. And I remember reading a story about a Ghanaian young man, an engineer, who happened to be following this path, and there are people, they are smugglers, they have networks who take people from Africa, different parts, and smuggle them into Europe. And that time they were using Libya because of its statelessness. There was confusion, there was no state in control. And in fact, hundreds, if not thousands of them were trapped in Libya in different places in the prisons, starving to death, others abused in all sorts of ways. Some people had started coming, picking some of them and taking them to their countries to use them as slaves. And we were somewhere discussing with some of the leaders, and I was telling them, why don't we address this problem? I said, for example, for me, I am not just going to suggest this theoretically that it can work. I want to even provide an example. I said, let's find ways. If we got all these people trapped in Libya they can't go back to where they came from, they can't move ahead to Europe where they wanted to go. And I told them, I can assure you, with all our weaknesses and whatever we have in our country, these people, if they are brought to Rwanda, they would live a better life than they are living in Libya, in these prisons. And I said, so if we brought them, then other countries interested in helping in this program, we can do the following. One, we can ask these people whether they want to go back to where they came from, now that they found themselves mistaken and in a very terrible situation in Libya. They may end up wanting to go back home. Because I had read that story of the Ghanaian I was telling you, who was, for him, he was an educated man, young man, but I think illusioned about. I think he was an engineer, the way I read it, but for some reason he wasn't employed. And so the networks that were smuggling people to Europe took him, and when he was in Libya, he got stuck, he found he was not going forward. So he had paid some amount of money which he got from his parents I remember the story we were talking about $800 or $900 we had been paying through to these smugglers. And so he started negotiating with the smugglers to take him back, and he would pay the same amount of, again, the same amount of money, which means 1,600 or 1,800. But this time he didn't have it. It would be paid when he got back to Ghana by, I think, his parents. So the smugglers took him back. But this is because he discovered there was no way of continuing to Europe. But even if he had reached Europe, by the way, I'm not sure, maybe what he had in mind he would become or was going to be the case. Maybe he was just going to be the same person as he was in Ghana, even in Europe, wherever he would be. He wasn't going to get that good living. Now, but anyway, so agreed, if they arrived here, they could easily be taken back home if they choose to go back home. Second, those European countries that have allowed migrants to come to Europe should come and stably select those they want to take to their countries, and that would be still better than these people being trapped in Libya. Then third, we provided another option. We said, for those who can't go back, or don't want to go back for some reason of their own, and may not be selected by the countries that want to absorb them, we are giving them another option. We can actually find ways in which they can stay here. There were these three options in 2018. So I think that's how now this new situation developed, with the UK and the others contacting us. It's like they learned from this case and said, can we have people processed here stably instead of being smuggled into our countries and doing this and that? And this time, they are not just going to be Africans. They may be, a number of them Africans. They are going to be other people from other countries. We allowed people from Afghanistan to come here. Even now, there are still students who were brought here. They are still staying with us. So I'm saying there are things that have really changed about us. And that's why I'm saying we don't have to learn values from anybody ourselves. We have values in us that we go by. So we can absorb Afghanistan, people from Afghanistan, from wherever, and if they are from Africa, we are even happier because they are like, we take them like family. So when the UK approached us, and because of that problem they have, I think they are smuggling people in these countries, left, right, center. So if we could talk about how to deal with that problem, we are happy to deal with that problem. There is, I understand, Denmark. So there is nothing bad about this. There is nothing we can't be transparent about this. There is nothing. So this is what it is. So, and this is who we are too. So I wanted to clear this, please. We are not. No. This is why I was saying there are things you can't buy about us. Yes. We are who we are, and we are proud people too. We are not involved in buying and selling of people, Rwanda and the UK, or anybody. No, it's just a problem that people will have different views about it. They look at it differently. They're not happy about it. That's okay. People will have look at, but at the end of the day, you've got to do something.
And make sure to subscribe to get the latest African list, entertainment, pop culture, and news. Remember to leave your suggestions on topics you would like us to cover in the comments down below. And remember, Africa is watching. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, follow, share, and like our video. It's the best way of supporting us.